What's up, my homies? Round 22 of the NRL season is coming our way, and this is my tips and predictions of the weekend. Really rapid fire in this one. So sorry I'm not able to do a really in-depth one this weekend. Just got a lot going on my plate at the moment, but I'm able to get this out for you, so we'll see how we go. Round 21 wasn't my best round overall. We got 5 out of 8 tips right. The Melbourne Storm, the Sharks, and the Rabbitohs, the 3 teams that let me down last week. So hopefully this week we can get a perfect round for you guys. First game of the weekend, we got the Broncos versus the Roosters at the Gabba. Really excited for this game because both these teams coming off some really good wins over the weekend. Obviously, the Broncos getting a nice win over the Rabbitohs at Sunny Coast, and the Roosters clicking back into form against the Titans, who were very lackluster at home. Big key ins for the Broncos in this one. Thomas Flegler comes into that starting front row role, and then Dean Mariner comes into the wing. And with the Roosters, Victor Radley coming back in the middle, Egan Butcher staying in that edge back row role. He was amazing over the weekend against the Titans. My tip for this one, I think the Broncos are going to be able to get it done in a 1-12 sort of affair. I think it's going to be a really close game. I think the Roosters are slowly turning a corner. Hopefully they keep playing more direct football. I think that really helps them out with all their superstars around across the park. You know, Brendan Smith, he plays like a lot more direct. Joey Manu and James Tedesco do a lot of their better work through the middle. So do expect that. But I think the key matchup I'm really excited for is Paddy Carrigan versus Victor Radley. And Victor Radley just going Victor the Inflictor. But I think the Broncos are just going to be a little bit too strong. Next game of the weekend, we got the West Tigers versus the Rabbitohs at Tamworth. Really excited for this game because both these teams coming off losses and wanting to get a win back, obviously. You know, the Tigers, the key in for them, Lukey Brooks coming back into the lineup with Dane Laurie and Api Coruscant. Really excited to see how that goes. Mid-season, they really clicked into gear. Just whether they click back into gear in this one. With a Rabbitohs team with Latrell back in their lineup. Obviously, last week, I did think Latrell was coming back. Everyone did. I ended up having in my thumbnail. I've had that for 2 weeks in a row now where even the week before, I had Nathan Cleary in there. Thinking Nathan Cleary maybe would make it back. Unable to happen. And Latrell, that calf injury must have been a lot worse than what they were saying. So my tip for this game, I'm thinking the Rabbitohs. I think the Rabbitohs would just be a little bit too strong. But the Tigers, I wouldn't be surprised they make this a really close contest. Next game of the weekend, we got the Melbourne Storm versus the Eels. Both teams coming off losses over the weekend. Obviously, the Melbourne Storm losing to the Newcastle Knights in one of the biggest surprises of the weekend. And the Eels going down to the Cowboys wasn't too much of a surprise there. Cowboys are in an amazing form at the moment. The big talking points coming into this game, obviously, Big Nelson is out. Obviously, Justin Olam is out and Remus Smith is out for the Melbourne Storm. I think they're 3 key pieces to the Melbourne Storm here. Eli Katoa is a really big key in this one. I'm really excited to see Eli Katoa back, but Marion Seve and Young Tonamapea coming into that center role does not feel the same as Remus Smith and Justin Olam to me. So with the Eels fighting for that top 8 position, my tip's going to go the Eels' way. I think the Eels are going to try and get back into winning form, even though the Melbourne Storm are in the same sort of boat. So the $2.70 that Sportsbet are running with at the moment looks really, really nice to me in my opinion. I think the Eels are going to get it done here. Next game of the weekend, we got the Raiders versus the Newcastle Knights at GIO Stadium. Obviously, the Newcastle Knights getting a really nice win over the Melbourne Storm, so they want to carry on that form that they're in at the moment. Kalen Ponga, Greggy Marju, Braden Best, Jacko Hastings, Adam Elliott's in form again, Tyson Frizzell outside of Tyson Gamble, the 2 Tysons. Dommy Young is feeding off it. Dane Gaggai's back in that lineup. It's just so stacked when they're doing so well. It's like you read that team list on paper, looks fucking amazing, but they're coming against a Raiders team that went down to my Warriors 21-20 over the weekend in a Golden Point game where they just brought it back at the death, just scared the shit out of me at the death of it. And we know the Raiders love to have a tight contest. So my tip for this game, I'm going to go with the Newcastle Knights. I think the Newcastle Knights are just in some really good form at the moment, and they're fighting for the 8 position as well, sitting in 10th. And with that draw that they had early in the season with the Manly Seagulls, really help them out. So I'm thinking the Newcastle Knights. I'm just going to ride that storybook sort of timeline going into the finals. So I'm going with that. Next game, we got the Dragons versus the Manly Seagulls at Wynn Stadium. This is going to be a crazy good game because obviously both these teams coming off really nice wins. Obviously the Dragons getting a nice win over the Spoon Bowl, you know, with the Tigers and that. And then the Manly Seagulls getting a really nice win over the Sharkies where they looked so dominant in that first half. Then the Sharkies brought it all the way back to a 1-score game at the end there. But players like DC, Ola Kawatu, I thought Tolu Kola looked fucking phenomenal. Like, he was amazing in that game. And coming into this game, I really do see that Joshy Schuster and all that really step up again in this game as well and on that left side attack. So really going to sway towards the Manly Seagulls in this one. My tip's going to go Manly's way. Next game of the weekend, we got the Panthers versus the Sharkies at Penrith. So in this one, obviously the Panthers getting a really nice win over the Doggies over the weekend, and the Sharkies going down to Manly. So the Sharkies are coming in wanting to get a win here, but against a Penrith team that is humming at the moment. Nothing too crazy to really talk about on either side of here, other than Wade Graham comes in at edge back role for the Sharkies. I'm going to tip the Panthers here. I think the Panthers are just going to be way too strong. The Sharkies are just in a free fall at the moment. As I said last week, I feel like everyone's kind of like bigging up Braden Trindle's defensive game. If you watch a lot of New South Wales Cup and that, you do see that he doesn't have the best defensive game as well as Moylan. So I feel like, you know, them making those big key changes maybe does not go the same way that they want them to, especially with the connection that they had in attack before. It really was not humming until late in that last game. So I'm going to go the Panthers in this one. Next game, we got the Bulldogs versus the Dolphins at Bundaberg. This is the Bulldogs home game, even though it's at Bundaberg in Queensland. Really excited for this game. Obviously, the Bulldogs are going down to the Panthers, but there was a couple of shining lights in that game, and they get Viliami Kikau back in their lineup. And with the Dolphins coming off the bye, but the week before, going down to the Panthers as well, having a good performance against the Panthers here as well. The Hammer comes back into that fullback role. I'm really excited to see the Hammer just used a lot better across the park. Obviously, when he was stuck at center, he was more so towards that left side center role. Now, being at fullback, he can float around every part of the park. I'm going to sway in my tips. I'm going to go for the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are just a bit more grindy of a team. I think they can find a win here. I think the Doggies are still a little bit away off, even though I think Viliami Kikau is definitely a massive in for them, and Toby Sexton is back in that lineup. So maybe the Doggies could get this one done at $2.30 on Sportsbet, gamble responsibly and all that. But I think I'm going to tip the Doggies. I'm going to go to Doggies in this one. I'm going to sway with the Dogs. My tip is going to be the Doggies. And last game of the weekend, we got the Titans versus the Cowboys at Seabus Super Stadium. The Titans getting a back-to-back game at Seabus. Obviously, the Titans going down convincingly against the Roosters over the weekend, and the Cowboys getting an amazing win over the Parramatta Eels. No massive key outs in this one. Both teams really running in. Obviously, Jeremiah Nenai is out of this lineup, but really excited to see how the Cowboys go in this one. I think my tip is definitely going to go to Cowboys, even though, you know, I think the Titans are going to come out and really make this stamp their authority on this game. They really want to get a win back after last week's performance, but I think the Cowboys, just their form at the moment, sitting in 7th position, and they've got a really good chance to crack in that top 4 as well, especially depending on how the Storm and Eels game goes. So really excited to see how that game goes in this one. So yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Please make sure you like, subscribe if you do. Comment down below your tips and that for the weekend. So sorry it had to be a rapid fire one this week. Obviously, I ran out of time really towards the end of my day here before I go to work. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please make sure you like, subscribe. Thank you so much, guys. Peace out.